Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my mom after 40 years of abuse? I am 45 years old, and to be completely honest, I never had what anyone would call a good childhood. My earliest memories of family aren't warm moments around the dinner table or bedtime stories. They're memories of fear, pain, and the constant reminder that I was unwanted. I'm the oldest of 5 children, and out of all of us, I was the one singled out, targeted, and treated like a burden instead of a daughter. Things got so bad that when I was a teenager, I was actually taken from my parents and put into foster care for about a year. That says a lot considering how much the system overlooks. But when I was sent back, my homecoming was nothing more than a pillow tossed on the floor in the living room with a blanket. That was supposed to be my place to sleep. No bedroom. No comfort. Just a cold floor that reminded me I wasn't wanted. My parents set me up to fail at every stage of my life. 3 different times I was pulled out of school to be homeschooled. But it was never real schooling. I was simply my mom's servant, or worse, her punching bag. After months of missed education, I'd be shoved back into the classroom, told I had to catch up, and warned that if I didn't, I'd never leave the house again. Somehow, I always managed to catch up, but it was never easy, especially when I wasn't even allowed to do homework. My time belonged to them. I was forced to do 95% of the housework while my siblings were spared. My earliest memory of abuse is burned into me. I was about 8 years old. I said something my mom didn't like, and before I even knew what was happening, my dad had me by the throat. He slammed me against the wall and started lifting me up. I struggled until I blacked out. When I woke up on the floor, I realized I had wet myself from fear. And instead of comfort, instead of care, I got in trouble for that. That's the kind of love I grew up with. It was always like that. When I needed glasses, my parents denied it. "We both have perfect vision," my mom said. "You must be doing something wrong in your life if you can't see." Teachers begged them to get me glasses, but for years I went without until I finally got them myself. Doctors? Vaccines? Medical care? All denied. Fast forward to my 20s, life didn't get easier. I had been married, divorced, and had 2 children. But for the first time, I thought I'd found real love. I was engaged to a man I adored, and he was the first person who made me feel safe. Then tragedy struck. He died in an accident. It broke me in ways I can't even describe. And my parents' reaction? Well, you deserved it. The only way you should have left your marriage is in a body bag. That's what they said to me while I was grieving the man I loved. It's no surprise that the father of my kids wasn't any better. He was abusive too. And a part of me wonders if I only accepted that because of the poison my parents fed me all my life, that I would deserve the abuse. That I would one day die at the hands of a man, and that it would be my fault. I believed them for years. Even when I had relationships that ended peacefully, like the one man who broke up with me kindly who stayed a friend, my parents still meddled. My dad actually went to him after the breakup and told him to take everything from me, to strip me bare. That man refused, and even had the decency to call me and tell me what my father had tried to do. It didn't stop there. When my kids were teenagers, they visited my family without me. My parents and sister actually told my children that my sister had every right to beat me while I was pregnant, that she should have eliminated them before they were born. And my parents agreed with her. Imagine your kids hearing that from their grandparents. I've barely spoken to my parents since I was 18. I've tried a couple of times, twice actually. Each time, it lasted less than 2 years before the old patterns came back and I cut contact again. The last time was over a decade ago. I built a life without them. And while it hasn't been perfect, it has been mine. Then recently my brother came to me. He said, "Mom wants her family back." He told me she's over it now. Over what? 40 years of abuse? Decades of torment? He then added, "I know why Mom and Dad hated you so much." I half joked, half bitterly asked, "Why, because I was born?" His answer shocked me. He said, "No. It's because when Mom had her second child, you wanted too much of her attention. She thought you were jealous. That's why they hated you." So let me get this straight. As a baby, barely over a year old, I wanted my mother's attention, and that was enough for them to justify 40 years of cruelty. And now she's over it and wants her family back? My brother yelled at me to get over it too. But it's not that simple. Those words reopened wounds I had buried deep. The memories, the anxiety, it's all come rushing back. And the truth is, I don't want to forgive them. I don't want to play happy families and pretend nothing happened. I don't want to give them the satisfaction of thinking they can sweep it all under the rug. I have my own family now. My kids, my friends, the people who actually love me. That's where my loyalty lies. So, am I wrong for wanting to continue another 10 years or the rest of my life without them? Because in my eyes, there's no healing to be had here. Only peace in moving forward without them.